because if your eyes landed here, if your mind paused even for a second when you saw that letter J, then this is not random. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. There are moments in life that feel ordinary until you realize later they were turning points. This is one of those moments. You've been ignoring the signs, the repeated patterns, the strange pull toward something you can't fully explain. And somehow, this letter keeps showing up, in names, in places, in thoughts you didn't even mean to have. You've ignored enough already. You've brushed things off. You've told yourself it's just a coincidence. It doesn't mean anything. But deep down, something in you knew that wasn't true. Something in you felt it. That quiet nudge, that whisper you couldn't silence. And now here you are again, face to face with the same energy, the same sign, the same letter. J, why does it keep appearing? Why does it feel like it's following you? Not in a fearful way, but in a way that feels intentional, almost like it's guiding you. Because it is. You see, not everything in your life is random. Not everything is accidental. Some things are placed directly in your path not to confuse you, but to awaken you. And J is one of those things. For some of you, J is a person. Someone who entered your life and shifted everything. Maybe they brought chaos. Maybe they brought clarity. Maybe they left, and you've been trying to understand why their presence still lingers in your energy. For others, J is not a person. It's a direction, a journey you've been avoiding, a decision you've been delaying, a path that scares you because deep down you know it will change everything. And that's exactly why you've been hesitating. Because stepping into what J represents means letting go of who you used to be. And that is never easy. But listen to me carefully. You were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to live a life that feels small, predictable, or safe. You were chosen for something greater, something deeper, something that requires courage, not comfort. And J is connected to that calling. You feel it, don't you? That strange sense of familiarity. Like you've seen this before, like you've been here before. Like this moment has been waiting for you to finally pay attention. That's not your imagination. That's your awareness waking up. You see, the universe doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it repeats, over and over, to stop ignoring it. And right now it's repeating one thing to you. Don't ignore this. Because every time you ignore a sign, you delay your own breakthrough. Every time you doubt what you feel, you disconnect from your own intuition. And every time you walk away from something meant for you, you create distance between you and your purpose. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. The signs don't disappear. They come back stronger, louder, more impossible to ignore. Until one day, you have no choice but to face them. And that day might be today. J is not here to confuse you. It's here to redirect you, to remind you that something in your life needs your attention. Something you've been avoiding, something you've been pushing aside because it feels too big, too uncertain, too real. But what if that's exactly why it matters? What if the very thing you're resisting is the very thing that will elevate you? Think about it. Everything that changed your life once felt uncomfortable. Everything that made you grow once felt uncertain. So why are you expecting this to feel easy? It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be meaningful. And meaning requires courage. So ask yourself, why does J keep showing up? Why does it stay in your thoughts? Why does it feel like it's connected to something unfinished, something unresolved, something waiting? Because it is. There's a lesson there. There's a shift there. There's a door there. And you're standing right in front of it. But doors don't open by themselves. You have to choose to open them. And that choice is yours. No one can make it for you. No one can walk that path for you. This is your journey, your awakening, your moment. And if you keep ignoring it, you'll keep feeling stuck. Not because you're lost, but because you're refusing to move. And I know that might be hard to hear, but you didn't come this far to stay in the same place. You didn't go through everything you've been through just to ignore the very thing trying to lead you forward. So stop doubting. Stop overthinking. Stop telling yourself you'll figure it out later. Later is where dreams go to die. Now is where everything begins. And right now, You're being called to pay attention, to trust what you feel, to stop running from what you know deep down is important. Because J is not random. It's aligned, it's intentional, it's part of your story. And the sooner you stop ignoring it, the sooner everything will start making sense. So take this as your confirmation. Take this as your sign. Take this as the moment everything shifts, because you were meant to hear this. And nothing, absolutely nothing, about this moment is an accident. And here's the part you've been avoiding. The moment you stop ignoring the sign, everything starts to change. Not slowly, not quietly, but in a way that shakes you. Because clarity doesn't come to comfort you, it comes to wake you up. And waking up isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it feels like everything you believed begins to fall apart. The people you thought would stay start to drift. The places that once felt familiar no longer feel like home. Even your own thoughts begin to change. And you wonder, what's happening to me? I'll tell you what's happening. You're evolving. You're stepping out of a version of yourself that was never meant to be permanent. And J is part of that transition. It's the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. But here's the truth that most people don't have the courage to accept. Growth will isolate you before it elevates you. Read that again. Growth will isolate you before it elevates you, because not everyone is meant to come with you into your next level. Not everyone is aligned with your purpose. And sometimes J reveals exactly that. For some of you, J is showing you who's real and who isn't. For others, J is pushing you to walk away from something you've outgrown. And for a few of you, J is the opportunity you've been praying for, but you're hesitating because you're afraid of failing. But let me ask you something. What's more dangerous, failing or never trying? Because ignoring this is not safety, it's stagnation. And stagnation slowly drains your spirit. You feel it, don't you? That heaviness when you stay where you don't belong. That frustration when you keep repeating the same patterns. That quiet voice inside you saying, there's more for you than this. That voice is not lying. That voice is your truth. And J is connected to it. You weren't meant to live on autopilot. You weren't meant to wake up every day feeling disconnected from your own life. You weren't meant to ignore the very signs that are trying to guide you. You were meant to notice, to question, to awaken. And now that you're aware, you can't go back. That's the thing about awakening. Once you see, you can't unsee. Once you feel it, you can't pretend it's not there. And once you understand the importance of this moment, ignoring it becomes impossible. But let's go even deeper, because this isn't just about a letter. This is about alignment. Everything in your life is either pulling you closer to who you're meant to be or pushing you further away from it. There is no in-between. And J is pulling you closer. That's why it feels different. That's why it keeps appearing. That's why it won't leave your mind. Because it's not meant to. It's meant to guide you. But guidance only works if you're willing to follow it. So the real question isn't, what does J mean? The real question is, are you ready to respond to it? Because signs are only powerful when you act on them. Without action, they're just moments. And moments pass. Opportunities disappear. And regret builds. You don't want that. You don't want to look back and realize you ignored something that could have changed everything. So don't. Not this time. Not again. This is your moment to break the cycle. To stop second-guessing yourself. To stop waiting for perfect conditions. Because perfect conditions don't exist. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risk. But there will also always be a choice. And right now, your choice is simple. Ignore it and stay where you are. Or acknowledge it and step into something greater. It doesn't have to make complete sense yet. It just has to feel real. And if you're honest with yourself, it does. That feeling you have right now, that slight tension in your chest, that curiosity mixed with uncertainty, that quiet sense that something important is unfolding, that's your confirmation. That's your signal. That's your moment. And moments like this don't come often, so don't waste it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't talk yourself out of it, because your mind will try. Your mind will bring up fear. It will remind you of past failures. It will tell you to stay safe. to stay comfortable, to stay where you are. But your soul is saying something different. Your soul is saying, move. Pay attention. Ignore this. And deep down, you know which voice you should be listening to. So trust it, even if it doesn't make sense yet, even if you don't have all the answers. Because clarity comes after action, not before it. And everything you're searching for, everything you've been waiting for, everything that feels just out of reach, might be on the other side of this one decision, this one moment, this one sign. Jay, it's not. It's random. It's not meaningless. It's not something you should brush off and forget. It's a trigger, a reminder, a call. And you don't get called unless you're ready. So maybe that's what this really is. Not a coincidence, not a mystery, but a confirmation. A confirmation that you're stepping into a new phase of your life. A phase where you stop ignoring. A phase where you start listening. A phase where you finally trust yourself. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about Jay. It's about you. Your awareness, your growth, your willingness to step into something greater. Jay is just the doorway. You are the one who has to walk through it. So the question is, will you? Or will you do what you've always done and ignore it? Choose carefully, because some moments change everything.